Lydia nodded. The old lady always wanted the Sioux family to have a place in Cloudridge Hill Villas. For so many years, neither she nor any of her relatives or children had ever been there. Grandmother Sioux left her home. She seemed to be heading to Godfrey's house. When the news spread within the Sioux family, every relative was shocked beyond words. For many years, the old lady would never visit the places her children lived in. She even said before that they could only ask her to visit their house if they were qualified to live in the Cloudridge Hill Villas. Really? Is Grandma really going to Yvonne's house? That can't be, right? Who was it that spread the rumor? That can't be possible. The WeChat group containing the Sioux family's younger generation erupted with liveliness. Everyone voiced out their disbelief. However, when a picture of an old lady getting off the car was posted to the group, it became quiet all of a sudden. They all knew that Grandma's visit was considered a huge show of respect toward Yvonne. It was all but certain that Harvey's position in the company would be affected. After learning about that, Godfrey and Lydia were so shocked that they remained speechless for a very long time. They thought it was impossible for the old lady to come over, and they never expected her to actually come forward. The cooperation with Weakriver Real Estate was very important to the Sioux family. Whether or not the family was able to squeeze into their status as Cloud City's first-rate family depends on how well they grasped that opportunity. The old lady's greatest lifetime wish was that the Sioux family could live in the Cloudridge Hill Villa area while she was still alive. When she heard that Yvonne was ill, she was as anxious as ants on top of a hot pan, because there would be no way to repair the situation if Liam found another partner. She, therefore, had to come and visit Yvonne in person to be at ease. The old lady was very old, and climbing the stairs nearly took her life away. Godfrey and Lydia had been waiting at the door for a long time. As soon as they saw the old lady, they immediately hurried forward to help. "Mom, why are you here in person? You can just call if something's the matter," Godfrey said. "That's right, Mom. Just call us if something is up," Lydia echoed. The old lady was out of breath and her face paled from exhaustion. "I'm here to see Yvonne. I heard she's sick," the old lady said. Godfrey was much taken aback by it. Yvonne was simply pretending to be sick, and they would be done, for if the old lady found out. He glared fiercely at Samuel because it was Samuel's atrocious idea. Samuel seemed nonchalant and poured the old lady a glass of water after inviting her in. Unfortunately, the old lady did not even get a chance to look at him. "Where's Yvonne?" the old lady asked after sitting on the sofa. "She's sick. She's staying in the room now so she won't infect you," Lydia said. "She's not sick," Samuel remarked all of a sudden. Godfrey and Lydia practically peed their pants. They tried their best to conceal it, but Samuel went and admitted it all by himself. "What nonsense are you talking about, Samuel? Yvonne is obviously sick." Lydia looked at Samuel angrily. It was none other than Samuel who suggested for Yvonne to feign her illness, yet he voluntarily admitted that she was pretending to be sick. His actions were jeopardizing them. "Mom, don't listen to Samuel's nonsense. He doesn't know anything," Godfrey uttered in a panic. The old lady's face turned cold, and she said, "Samuel, say that again. She wasn't sick in the first place. She just didn't want to see them," Samuel said. "Samuel." Lydia's hair stood on end. The old lady suddenly sneered. "Humph. You don't even have a decent house, but you're very good at acting. Yvonne is not sick? Do you know how serious the matter of the collaboration is? If the collaboration is lost, the Sioux family will miss a great opportunity. Can you afford to bear this responsibility?" "What does it have to do with me?" Samuel said calmly. "The ones who should bear the responsibility are Lionel and his son. They were the ones who went to you to change the person in charge. Now that something has gone wrong, they're too ashamed to come forward and ask Yvonne for help. Should Yvonne be at their beck and call? You." The old lady was trembling with anger. "Samuel, what right do you have to say this? This is our Sioux family's matter. You're just a live-in son-in-law. There's no place for you to speak here." At that moment, Harvey and Lionel also arrived at the door. Harvey had heard the conversation and sneered. A piece of trash like you dares to say such things in front of Grandma? You don't even have the right to live in this house. What qualifications do you have to speak? That's right, Samuel. This is the Sioux family's business, not yours. Lionel also said coldly. Samuel slowly turned around, a faint smile on his face. I don't have the right. I've lived in this house for 3 years. I'm Yvonne's husband. If I don't have the right, then you, who tried to take credit and now want to ask for help, have even less right. Harvey's face flushed red. You, what are you? Yvonne was just lucky. Even if she hadn't gone, I would have been able to get it done. Really? Then why are you here? Samuel looked at him calmly. Harvey was speechless. Lionel also looked at Samuel with a dark expression. He hadn't expected this good-for-nothing to suddenly become so sharp-tongued. Enough. The old lady slapped the table, her gaze fierce. Samuel, I'm warning you, don't think that you can be arrogant just because you've been living in the Sioux family for a few years. You're still a good-for-nothing, even if Yvonne helped get the contract. That still has nothing to do with you. Now, get out of my sight. Samuel was not angry, but smiled and said, Since Grandma said so, then I have nothing to say. However, I want to tell you that the person Weakriver Real Estate wants to cooperate with is Yvonne, not the Sioux family. If you force Yvonne to hand over the project to someone else, I'm afraid the contract will be void. The old lady's face changed. What do you mean? I mean, if you want to keep this cooperation, you'd better let Yvonne take full charge of this project. Otherwise, even if she goes forward now, it won't be long before someone else replaces her. At that time, Weakriver Real Estate will definitely withdraw the contract. Samuel's tone was calm, but his words were like a sharp knife stabbing into the hearts of everyone present. The old lady's expression turned extremely ugly. She knew that Samuel was not lying. Liam had made it clear yesterday that he only recognized Yvonne. If they changed the person in charge again, the cooperation would really be ruined. Harvey and Lionel also realized the seriousness of the matter. Grandma, don't listen to his nonsense. He's just a live-in son-in-law. How could he know what Weakriver Real Estate is thinking? Harvey said anxiously. That's right, Mom. This is definitely his nonsense. How could a piece of trash like him have such influence? Lionel also added. Samuel smiled faintly, saying, Whether it's nonsense or not, Grandma has her own judgment. I just want to remind everyone that if the cooperation fails, the Sioux family will lose the opportunity to move into Cloudridge Hill Villas. Grandma, you've wanted to live there for your entire life, haven't you? The old lady's body trembled, and her gaze toward Samuel became complicated. She didn't expect that this useless son-in-law would say something like that. All right, from now on, Yvonne will be fully responsible for the cooperation with Weakriver Real Estate. No one is allowed to interfere. The old lady made a final decision. Harvey and Lionel's faces turned pale. They never imagined that they would be defeated by a nine. Good-for-nothing they had always despised. Grandma, Harvey was unwilling to accept it. That's enough. Do you want to be kicked out of the Sioux family? The old lady said coldly. Harvey and Lionel didn't dare to speak anymore. Yvonne walked out of the room at this moment, her eyes red. She had heard the whole conversation. Yvonne. Samuel looked at her. Yvonne walked up to Samuel, looked him in the eyes, and said, You said you would change for me. Now, you've done it. Yes, I did. Samuel smiled. From now on, no one will look down on you again. I promise.